All right, I think we're live. Are we live? I don't know. Yes, we're live. All right. What's up, everyone? Today's day 4 of the Master Cleanse. I'm still drinking my Master Cleanse juice. It's pretty good. Today I want to talk to you guys about... Oh man, I look weird on the internet. Today I want to talk to you guys about your gut bacteria. On the first day I did this, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about this earlier, but I never got the chance to because I didn't have the material in front of me. But today I do, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring that stuff out, and I kind of want to talk to you guys about it today because I think come in here. What's up, Jose? From my 7th period. What's going on, my man? So today I want to talk about the gut bacteria or your microbiome. So let's jump right into it. This is gonna be a good one because I learned a lot through researching this and actually reading about it. And I've known about this gut biome, microbiome, gut bacteria thing for a long time, but I never really dove deep into it. I never realized how important it was until I started doing this Master Cleanse. About a week before I started doing this, I did a bunch of research on the microbiome, and today I'm gonna share with you some of the best things I found. I got a bunch of notes here that I kind of want to share with you guys, and also I have some few things already prepared that I'll be sharing with you guys as well. So let's switch over to the next screen and kind of go through what's going on. All right. So here we go. So the first thing is that, you know, for a very long time, people didn't really realize how important the brain was, right? So the Egyptians, when they were doing, you know, embalming to make mummies, right? They kind of left the brain alone. They went ahead and preserved all the organs except for the brain because they had no idea like how important the brain was. For them, it was just like a thing that was holding space inside the head. But you know, later on we figured out like how important the mind and the brain is, right? I mean, the Egyptians didn't think that the mind existed inside the brain. Now, modern science, we know that we tend to agree more that it does exist in the brain. So the same type of situation is happening right now. But instead of the brain, we're starting to realize how important our gut is, how important our microbiomes are. So I want to kind of share with you guys some of the most important things that we've kind of started to discover. And a lot of the research on microbiomes and your gut bacteria is very recent because the advent of gene sequencing has only been around for about 15-20 years. So before that, when people were trying to study the gut, you know, the microbiome or the bacteria that lives inside your gut, they had a hard time because these bacterias, only about 20% of them were able to actually survive in a lab environment, right? So we weren't able to really figure them out. We weren't able to really figure out like the diversity of them. But now, since we have the ability to kind of like do gene sequencing and like to like examine the DNA of each of these like bacteria, we're able to kind of like do more, be more like systematic in like how we classify these bacteria and figure out what each of them do. Now, before we get started, I kind of want to like talk about what these microbacteria or microbiome is, because I think it's kind of important. So the first thing that's kind of really cool is that there are more microbacterial cells in a human body than like human body cells. So for example, humans have, I think, like 10 million cells, 10 billion cells, around 10 billion cells, and there are about 100 billion bacteria cells living all over our bodies. Like, so like our skin, our you know, our gut, and like pretty much anywhere that's exposed to air, or not exposed to air, but that has a surface, is covered in bacteria. This is why some people, different people smell different. Like if you're from, one part of the country and you go to another part of the country, you can kind of tell that some people smell a little bit different than, to the people that in your hometown, or even a different country, people smell, much differently, and that's because of the type of bacteria that's on them, and that's that's kind of what determines the different odors that human beings are able to produce or whatever. And the production of these odors are not even the humans doing it; it's the bacteria that's on them that's doing it. So the second thing I kind of want to talk about is like our gut. The gut goes from our mouth, the opening in our mouth, all the way down to our anus, and it's just you can kind of think of it like as a tube that's like winding and like turning, and it just has a lot of surface area for our food to get absorbed, right? And in all of those surfaces, there are like billions and billions of bacteria that lives there. And another crazy thing about our gut is it's kind of like our second brain. Now, you guys probably know that most of the neurons and neurochemicals that our brain use are actually produced in our gut. For example, all of the serotonin that our body produces is actually produced in the stomach or the gut, and then about half of the dopamine that our body produces is in our gut, or is produced in our gut. And our gut actually has, I think it's like 500 million receptors, just like our brain. So our brain has these receptors that can communicate with neurotransmitters, but our gut is also able to communicate with these neurotransmitters. And like a lot of people have said, like I got a gut feeling about this, or I'm feeling butterflies, all these different things. It's like an actual physiological reaction to your gut using some of these neurotransmitters. So it's really exciting and really interesting what we've been able to kind of think about in the last 15 to 20 years. So like we're getting a lot of new science behind it. So why is this important? So why am I talking about this in a dieting video, right? So the reason why I'm kind of talking about this, because it's this idea called a positive selective system. So there's been some studies where it's been kind of implicated that the microbiome that you have inside your body is able to interact with neurotransmitters and to select the types of food that they would do best in. So for example, let's say that you are, you go to McDonald's all the time and you eat the food in the McDonald's. Well, when you eat that, there are some like bacteria that's on that food. A lot of the time, those bacterias have to have like resisted, antibiotics from the cows and some of the chemicals that are used to preserve the the breads and the sauces and all the things that went into creating that burger. All the bacteria that's on that burger is able to survive it, so they're really hardy. So now when you eat that burger and you put it into your body, what you're doing is you're taking that bacteria and you're putting it into your body, and then what happens is your body also has bacteria, and then the bacteria inside your body has to compete with the bacteria that you put into your body through that burger. Now over time, what's going to happen is the hardy bacteria that's on the burger, because they're resistant to a lot of antibiotics. They're able to outcompete the natural bacteria that's inside you, and then what happens over time is the bacteria that came on the burger will give you cravings for more of those same type of foods that it can survive on, right? So it likes likes living on hamburgers. It likes all the things that going to make a hamburger, so it wants you to get more of it. So there's some chemical interactions. They mess with your hormones, and you get cravings for the same type of food that these bacteria love to live on. So what happens over time is you eat more and more of those burgers, and more of your good bacteria gets replaced with this negative bacteria that wants you to have the same type of foods, and this is some kind of what causes overeating, metabolic syndrome. These type of things are from an unhealthy balance of good bacteria to bad bacteria, and it's really, really hard to control this this system if you don't if you don't really understand how it works. I don't really understand how it works, and that's why I'm kind of doing like this deep reset. I think there's a lot of negative bacteria that's in my body because I've been eating processed food. I've been eating fast food. I've been doing a lot of things that are negatively affecting my my system here. All right, so I'm just gonna take a break here. I feel like I'm talking really fast. All right, so the next thing I kind of want to talk to you guys about is the reset. So what I'm doing with this master cleanse is I'm removing all of the inputs all these bacteria have in my body, right? So they need food to survive. They basically break down food and they eat, and then they produce certain chemicals for our body. But if I'm like for the next 40 days I'm not eating anything, I'm just eating this, just drinking this lemonade juice. So what I'm hoping will happen is some of these negative bacteria will have a chance to die off, and then I'll be able to replace them with good bacteria using after the cleanse. I'll be eating a lot of fermented foods, so like yogurt. I'll be drinking this stuff called kombucha. I'll be eating a lot of fermented Sri Lankan food. I'll be also trying to eat some kimchi, and I'll try to eat a lot of things that will help me put positive, good bacteria back into my system and kind of outcompete the bad bacteria that's already kind of in there. And it's already kind of working, because for the last 2, 3, 4 days I've been really psychologically craving In-N-Out burgers. But for the last, I would say, about 24 hours, I have not been craving In-N-Out burgers. And you guys already know that I talk about In-N-Out burgers like in all of the all 3 of my previous live streams. So I think I had some microbacteria in my system that I used to eat In-N-Out all the time that really crave the specific ingredients of that burger, right? So now I'm kind of getting rid of that, and then when the fast is done, I'm gonna start putting really positive, clean bacteria back into my body. There's a couple things I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that's pretty much all, the bulk of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. But there's like 2 other things that I think is really cool. The first thing is called, you probably heard of probiotic pills. They're like a bunch of live bacteria in a pill that you can take. But there's also something called prebiotics. Now, prebiotics is the things that once you have the good bacteria inside your body, the prebiotics is what these bacteria will consume and grow and become healthy. So a really good prebiotic is vegetables and fruits. So if you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, then you're giving your microbiome a good chance to be able to produce the type of and grow the type of bacteria that will actually help your body instead of hurting your body. There's a couple other things I want to talk to you guys about, but I think I'm kind of running short on time here, so I'm just gonna jump into the next part of that. I'll do more of these type of live streams as well. I know this is kind of like a little bit more sciencey, but I like doing this because this is something that really interests me. But I know some of you guys might not be super interested in stuff like this. So if people want me to do this, I'll make another live stream about gut bacteria and the microbiome. But for now, I'll just leave it here. Just basic idea is to reset your gut microbiome with like a clean fast, where you're kind of removing the things that these bacteria need to live. And then once you're done with the fast, remember to add in good bacteria using fermented food that people have been eating for thousands of years, like kimchi, kombucha, yogurt, kefir, Sri Lankan food for me, and then just other things that, like pickles, things like that use and have bacteria in them, right? All right, I'll leave it there. I hope that wasn't too bad. I have a hard time breaking down these kind of things without preparing them, because it's the first time I've really talked to anyone about it. No one around me is super interested in learning about or talking about bacteria with me. So you guys are the first people that I got to talk to about it. So yeah. So the next thing I kind of want to talk to you guys is about how I slept. So I slept really good. Again, I'm sleeping good. And yesterday and last night, I actually woke up at 4 o'clock to do the saltwater cleanse. I'll be doing my tomorrow's live stream on the saltwater cleanse. It was really good. I woke up at 4, and I went to sleep at around 9 o'clock. So that was about 7 hours, and I felt really good when I woke up. I actually woke up right when the alarm hit, and I got out of bed, and I was fine. And I haven't done waking up at 4 in such a long time, so it felt really great, and I think it's a thing that I want to keep doing. So tonight I'm gonna go to sleep at 9 again, and I'll wake up at 4, and I didn't feel tired the whole day today, and that was great. So I had a lot of good energy. I had actually did a lot of talking during some of my lessons today with my science class, and it felt good. I was even able to maintain like a positive mood, and I was upbeat. I was happy the whole entire day, so that was great. I was not hungry. I didn't actually even finish this is my first lemonade of the day. I didn't even finish it yet. I did have some psychological cravings when I came home. My mom was here. My mom and sister came to visit, and they brought some really bomb Sri Lankan food. They were even cooking Sri Lankan food downstairs, which was like, oh man, it was tough because, man, I love my parents cooking, so that was really tough. And my mom was like, just have a little bit, you'll be okay. And I was like, man, I really want to, but I didn't do it. But yeah, so I'm good now, no food cravings, and right now I feel really confident. I mean, I'm 99% sure that I'll be able to go all the way. I'll be able to go to the distance, and I'll be able to kind of take care of everything I need to take care of for the next 36 days and get through this fast and come out the other side like healthy and ready to take on the next challenge. Now I have been getting some cool ideas about how I want to be doing my diet after this fast, and I think I really want to do like the OMED, so like 1 meal a day method. But I'm gonna really like try to dial it in to where I'm getting all of the micronutrients and the macronutrients I'll be needing to use that day, and really dial it in, because I want this whole eating thing to become like autopilot. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to like measure food. I don't want to really like having to like do any like special preparation. I just want to like enjoy food and like use it as fuel, and have it be a normal thing. So and not be dependent on any other substances either. So like alcohol or caffeine or sugar or anything like that. So moving forward, I think I'm going to be really trying to program in a good way to eat and a good way to make all this stuff happen. So this live stream is getting too long, you guys. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments right now, and I'll answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to take off in about 30 seconds. Again, if you guys want to get more of these, if you want to get on to the next live stream, which will be happening tomorrow, just hit that subscribe button, hit the notification icon, so that way it'll pop out, and then you can come join us next time we have this. If you didn't make it to the live stream, that's all good. Leave a comment or a question if you have one. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.